This sounds pretty darn super to me. What about you?
Ladies and gents, this person you've just seen is Jack Owoc, CEO of BangEnergy. Yes, the energy drink company. Now, this isn't going to be the typical video for this channel. I'm going to explain how this came about. The story that I'm about to tell you or show you is something that I saw a week and a half ago, and it has lived rent-free in my head until now. There's just something so utterly unsettling and bizarre about this at the same time that I think I'm just going to have to show you the insanity that I witnessed. Okay, so as reported by Bloomberg a couple of weeks ago, Monster Energy wins a $293 million false advertising award over BangEnergy. Now, this is to do with, I don't know if you guys have ever drank BangEnergy. I've drank it a few times, and on the front it advertises that they are using something called super creatine. Now, pretty much every energy drink that you consume has creatine in it, and it's very common. That's nothing special. However, Jack Owoc, the CEO, is claiming that Bang has something in its salt called super creatine, and Monster is claiming that super creatine doesn't exist, and after tests, it, well, doesn't exist. So this brings us to the video. I don't know how to, like, prepare you for what you're about to see, but I saw this video, and I was left just questioning life.
Hello and welcome, friends. I'm the CEO of BangEnergy, and I hope this message finds you well and thriving. With all the recent news and everybody from Bloomberg to BevNet being obsessed with BangEnergy, there have been numerous questions regarding super creatine and whether it's real. I can assure you that super creatine...
First things first. This man... What a freeze frame. Oh my god. I need to get that on my wall. This man is obviously Jack Owoc, the CEO of this company. Now, this is like your eccentric uncle that you don't want anything to do with, but you love the fact he's around. Like, he's wearing... Oh my god, he's wearing a Bang medallion. He's like the Christian of the energy drink world. Before we start, a quick word from the sponsor of today's video, Brilliant. The best way to learn anything is by doing it yourself. Learn interactively with Brilliant's fun, hands-on lessons in maths, science, and computer science. Interactive learning helps you learn 6 times more efficiently than watching lecture videos or being spoken at. Recently, I've been using Brilliant every morning to help me stay focused and start my day. Brilliant lets you learn in a more interactive way and helps your brain retain the information that you have taken in. One of the courses that I really recommend is Scientific Thinking, and as a plus side, you yourself can decide if super creatine is indeed real. Don't just take my word for it. Join the millions of people already learning on Brilliant with a special offer just for listeners. Head over to brilliant.org/Callum Upton to get started for free with Brilliant's interactive lessons. The first 200 listeners will also get 20% off an annual membership. That sounds pretty darn super to me. How about you?
is real. Just like creatine monohydrate or any other forms of creatine, super creatine increases free creatine in plasma, in blood, and muscle. For starters, even Monster's own bought and paid for study showed a rise of creatine levels in human muscles after test subjects consumed super creatine. This rise...
Okay, also, the thing that's absolutely bonkers about this is that there's no good way to freeze frame this man, is there? Apparently, all of these studies that were done by Monster and done by Jack and BangEnergy themselves were all completely invalid, according to other sources, because they didn't do proper tests, and they think people had paid each other out for the test results, and the whole thing's a mess. I'm going to skip forward to the bit of this that truly just blew my mind.
Blood sampling and responsible controls. This sounds pretty darn super to me. What about you?
Now, if you think that's a cringy kind of transition in like a public PR release, he doesn't just use it once. He says it every minute in this video. It's nuts.
Recent trial against Monster, we were issued a $293 million verdict. This alone would cause almost any company to file bankruptcy. This, however, does not mean Bang is going out of business. Quite the contrary. Chapter 11 bankruptcy is a plan of reorganization to keep our business alive and to pay our creditors over time. Bankruptcy also allows us to put this judgment on hold and give BangEnergy time to restructure and continue to do business as usual. Let me repeat that, my friends. BangEnergy will be doing business as usual.
I don't know how you can take bankruptcy and spin it as a positive. Like, I know mega corporations and everything are all about spinning PR positives, you know, putting a PR spin on it. You can't really do that with Chapter 11 bankruptcy. No matter which way you look at it, really. Oh, God, I can't stop looking at those clothes. The more you look, the worse it gets. Like, his t-shirt looks like a... You know when you first try to make a texture pack in Minecraft? And, like, you've got these weird repeating tiling textures on a single block? That's what it looks like.
With our new decentralized distribution system, I believe that you'll be able to find more flavors of BangEnergy in more places than ever before. In addition to our eloquent Peking Biotech Medical School study demonstrating a significant and steady rise in free creatine in the blood for 24 hours, there is yet more evidence that super creatine is a remarkable invention. This sounds pretty darn super to me. What about you? Creatine monohydrate has terrible solubility in water. I once stirred and left creatine monohydrate in a glass of water overnight.
Right, if you're making a scientific, factual, actual study case in a video that's going out as like a PR response, you probably shouldn't have videos of you doing said experiments yourself. This whole thing's just like, it feels like a parody.
In a few minutes. That sounds pretty darn super to me. What about you? Super creatine is stable in a beverage and water stable at room temperature. Other forms of creatine are not stable in water and over time degrade to creatinine. That sounds pretty darn super to me. What about you? This just in. We have preliminary evidence that shows that super creatine may have a half-life in human plasma for roughly 7 days. Furthermore, super creatine is made up of roughly 50% L-leucine, which is known as the most powerful contributor to muscle protein synthesis out of all essential branched-chain amino acids. In fact, no other creatine molecules contain the powerful amino acid L-leucine except for super creatine.
Right, now, this just isn't correct. Because if you look at all other energy drinks, everyone that I've seen that I've ever bothered looking at has L-leucine in it. What point is he trying to make here?
Hey, this sounds pretty darn super to me. What about you? And this is why Monster keeps suing us. I have a patent on super creatine, which has made super creatine off limits to Monster and Rodney Sachs. Monster CEO Rodney Sachs has been suing us for well over a decade. In fact, with lawsuits and counter lawsuits, Monster and Rodney Sachs have sued us 8 times. Rodney Sachs is now suing me personally. And
I will say this in Mr. Monopoly's defense here, he is correct. I think Monster is the drinks company that has sued the most amount of times in the last 5 years, if I'm remembering this correctly. And the amount they've sued, I can't remember the number off the top of my head, but it's ridiculous. Like, they either buy out a company, and if the company can't be bought out, they sue them. It's like a repeating pattern. So, I mean, he's got a point. Like, what he's saying here has some legitimacy to it, but the whole thing's just funny to me.
trying to destroy my family and children by taking away my house and other possessions. It is important to note that we recently filed a mega lawsuit against Monster Energy Drink and Rodney Sachs. This lawsuit refers to more than 120 reports of suspected links between consumption of Monster Energy Drink and serious adverse health events, including 10 heart attacks and roughly 20 deaths.
See, this is another thing that I just find to be a bit odd to bring up. If Monster is such a worldwide known company and all you can bring to the table is, oh, there are 20 deaths and 10 heart attacks, I think you could attribute that to literally any food. Like, if you say, oh, I don't know, Aldi's own knockoff Rustler burgers are the cause of 10 deaths or something, I'm sure it's probably like more like 100 at least, right? If you really think about it. It's just pretty weak evidence to fight a case. He's fighting a case that he should be fighting, right? I guess. But it's just weird to me.
These reports are publicly accessible online via the FDA's Food Safety Adverse Event Reporting System.
It's just a pretty weak argument, I guess, is what I'm saying here. It doesn't really bring anything to the table.
At this point, you have to ask yourself, why hasn't Monster Energy Drink been pulled from the market? Ironically, Rodney Sachs and Monster are quick to sue others. We know that Monster has been involved in well over 1,000 lawsuits. Many individuals and companies have been destroyed by Monster, who is now trying to destroy us. Remember, friends, what the great late Albert Einstein said, great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds. Monster has recently received record-breaking judgments and verdicts totaling over $500 million, primarily because of Monster's insistence upon waging war against supercreatine and me personally. What's highly disconcerting is that as proud as we are of supercreatine, I don't know anybody who drinks a Bang Energy drink because of supercreatine. Do you?
See, if you're not proud of it and it's not an advertising tool, this whole supercreatine thing, why do you put it front and center on the can and then say that nobody buys it because of that? If nobody buys it because of that, why do you put it on the can? Like, at the front, obviously it's got to go on the ingredients somewhere, but surely you're using it as an advertising tool for question mark? I don't know.
Only an extremely small percentage of consumers purchase Bang Energy because of supercreatine. Hey friends, please comment in the section below. Why do you drink Bang Energy? We love you, friends. We appreciate your support and hope and pray that God's blessings chase you and your family down all the days of your lives. Thank you for your loyalty. Thank you for your support. Make no mistake, my friends and loyal supporters, Bang Energy is coming like a freight train and cannot be stopped.
I'm sorry, what? What has that got to do with anything? Look, I know this isn't my typical kind of video, and I said that I would start doing some more off-the-cuff kind of videos as and when they take my fancy. This has had to live rent-free in my head for the last week and a half, so now it has to live in yours too. That's the price you pay for a subscription to this channel now. Jesus Christ, where do we go from here? Ladies and gents, thank you for watching as always, and a massive thank you to the patrons. Your support is something I am eternally grateful for. And until next time, take care.